All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're finally live. I got my man CMAC. Sorry we made you wait a little bit, but we are here. We had some roster moves. There was a lot of news actually to get to today, so we'll get to all of it. I'll play a little intro, and we'll get on with the show. Hope everybody's having a great day. All right, faithful, we are here. What's up? Happy Tuesday. The 49ers had a day off on practice, but they were not off in terms of making moves. They had a busy-ass day. They worked out like 20 people today. It was a lot of people. Quarterbacks. I mean, look at some of the players they worked out today. Kurt Benkert, Garrett Gilbert, Mike Glennon, Kevin Hogan, A.J. McCarron. They were at the dollar store looking at players. I mean, they were looking at everybody. They probably invited them all. Hey, you have a workout. You have a workout. You have a workout. And they finally decided on a quarterback, Kurt Benkert. He used to play for the Falcons and the Packers. We'll see. I mean, they added him to the practice squad, obviously, because you're going to need depth. Right now, QB1 is Jimmy Garoppolo, and QB2 is Brock Purdy. You need a QB3. What do you think, man? How are you feeling about this quarterback signing?
Well, you're right. We didn't even shop at the Dollar General. We went to the Dollar Tree. We bypassed the Dollar General, went right to the Dollar Tree. I mean, listen, if you're getting down to these guys and you got to play them, your season's probably over, right? So, you're just working out, see what you can get best that you can see with your eyes. It's the eyesight. Like I said, if you get to these guys, your season's pretty much over. We're thinking about draft season.
Yeah, if we have to play Kurt Benkert, no offense, Kurt Benkert. If you're somehow watching this, Kurt, no offense, but if we're playing you, the season's over. We might as well tuck it in and kiss goodbye. Let's just hope Jimmy can stay healthy now, and Brock Purdy can stay healthy if he has to go in there. That's the one issue we've had with every position is injuries. Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt through his career, and that's the reason they went and got Trey Lance. And then, ironically, Trey Lance goes down in his first season as QB1. So this team needs to stay healthy, or it's going to be a long season. I mean, it's going to be long regardless. So let's hope he can stay healthy. The other move today, let me pull this up. This was a nice little move here. So we kind of saw this one coming. Adam Schefter tweets,
yes,
the 49ers are signing veteran running back Marlon Mack to the active roster from the practice squad. Now, they have Elijah Mitchell and Ty Davis-Price are injured, so they elevated Marlon Mack to the active roster. I like this move. I think this is a good veteran move. Now you have Jeff Wilson, Jordan Mason, and Marlon Mack on your active roster. What you thinking about that?
Yeah, I like Marlon Mack. Definitely dynamic. He did run for 1,000 yards in 2019 with the Colts. He definitely can catch balls out of the backfield too. That was something that an element that he gave to the Colts when he was there. He's definitely shifty. There is a reason that he hasn't been signed, so it's not like he's going to get in and be 2019 Marlon Mack. But I think, with the scheme of things and the blocking with Juice and maybe Kittle comes back this week, I think it could be a good fit for Marlon, and we could get some quality, runs and looks for Marlon Mack.
Yeah, I agree. I think he could be a guy. He's a veteran, so he could pick up the system really well. I think he would fit. You're right. He's a good pass catcher, so that's another element he brings. They just need to have body that can stay healthy. I think he's a guy that you can plug and play. Jeff Wilson looked pretty good last year, but how long is he going to last in terms of, staying healthy? He's coming off of 2 years of injury. I like Jordan Mason. I want to see Mason get his chance and opportunity, but I don't know. It's Kyle and these young guys. But eventually, Mason's going to get a chance, I feel. But Marlon Mack's there, good veteran to lean on. But I could still see them going after another running back, bringing them to the practice squad, because the Niners go through running backs like crazy, man. Like remember last year in the draft? Remember after the draft, we were like, Vlad was, we have 7 running backs, and he was just like, he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. And we went through every single.
But we went through them all, It's the scheme of things. How Kyle runs the offense in the run scheme, you need as many running backs as you can get. That's why I was not surprised at all with last year's draft and how it went the year we went all the running backs.
I agree, man. It was crazy because we were like, oh, I can't believe it, but we went through them all. He says, I wish they would have gave Mason a little run last week to get his feet wet.
Yeah.
I agree. I think he should have at least had a few carries. But, you know, you also have to remember they have Deebo Samuel. We were talking about this morning in our group text. We were saying, you know, Deebo's going to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball because he has those incentives in his contract. 380 yards rushing. He gets, 150K or 650K or something. And then if he gets 3 rushing touchdowns, he gets 150K. So he's already got 1 rushing touchdown. And I think he's got over 100 yards rushing, 104 yards rushing. So he's running. He's going to get that money he wants. So you got to remember Deebo's going to be running in that backfield too. And he looked, man, there were some plays. You guys saw that today. I posted. I mean, just knifing through defenders, the RPO play. I mean, there was like 5 guys on him. And he shook them all, and he gets 50 yards. It's crazy. Like, Deebo's run game.
Yeah, and you know, him knifing through, finding those holes, making those lanes. 2, I said this earlier in our group chat, I really feel like Deebo may not be in the same, you know, in the same place that he was last year, right now anyway. Not saying he won't be. But I feel like if that was last year and he hit that hole the way he did, he took it to the house. You know what I mean? He got ran down. I don't know. Not saying he hasn't trained properly or anything like that. I just really feel like last year he would have took that to the house. So, you know, maybe he's not in full game shape, like peak season. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But yeah, using Deebo obviously and those incentives, you know, a lot of people, he wasn't going to play that wide back role. That was definitely a reason why Deebo requested a trade. It was all BS. Here we are.
Yeah. Here we are. He's running the ball more than he's catching the ball. You know, it's kind of crazy, actually. You guys, he's the best running back in the NFC West right now. He's got more yards than any running back in the NFC West almost, man. It's crazy. The guy's killing it. And you know, I kind of see what you're saying in terms of he's not as explosive. He's not as quick as he was. Yeah. I know he worked hard, but there was like a little period of time where he had to miss it because he didn't want to get hurt through the contract. So, you know, he's not peak right now, but I give him a few more weeks. And we're going to see that damn Deebo because he's got the shiftiness. He's got the elusiveness. But I want to see him hit that top speed because I do think he would have taken that. Maybe if this was like – because that Bears game last year, that play right there, it was just such top speed. Like I could have seen him if he was running that fast in that Seahawks game, he would have taken it to the house. But he's still playing really good. He's still playing effective. And the scary thing is he's only going to get better, you know. But I think he's also pacing himself. Because it is going to be a long season. He does have a lot of workload to kind of do for this team. And he knows he's going to have to run a lot because of the injuries and stuff. And there was a comment in here that says, you know, I hope they don't run Deebo down to the ground. This is what Smitty's been saying is he's worried that Kyle's going to run him, and he's going to get hurt. But I think Deebo's smart, and he's going to kind of pace himself. And I think he knows a little bit better now. Because before, you know, he's going to like, give me the ball. I'm sure there's going to be times where he's going to be like, yo, give me the ball. But I think he's smart too, and he's gonna be like, "Yo, I gotta save myself." So yeah.
And I like to just circle back because you know the Deebo situation was huge for us in the offseason, right? Everybody had an opinion. Everybody was arguing about you know whether Deebo should just be traded or whether, but we definitely had concerns on the quad box. You know, Deebo missing time, is this going to affect his play in the 2022 season? And that's why I kind of brought it up. I kind of feel like you know missing that time. Definitely, and even with Trey, you know, he you know, missing the chemistry, working on the chemistry with Trey, definitely was a thing. So, you know, us in the time thinking about everything, every aspect of that Deebo situation, him in that hitting that hole against Seattle, I just really felt like he would have took it to the house if it was last year.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. But again, it just means that he's going to get better through the year. And the chemistry with Trey definitely was something that we highlighted throughout the offseason. Honestly, I mean, it does suck that Trey went down, but he's got good chemistry with Jimmy. So for going to be you know, it's going to be instant chemistry. He's going to be able to pick up right where he left off with Jimmy, and I think they're going to be able to roll it. And, you know, Jimmy knows where he's going to be instinctually, and I think this is going to be something where Deebo's going to go out there and keep cooking, you know, with Jimmy. He knows what to expect, those little screen plays. And things like that. So Deebo's going to continue to cook. He's going to be Jimmy's number one guy. I don't know. We talked about this too last night a little bit. do you expect Brandon Ayuk to take a step? I wouldn't say a step back, but will he have as big of a year that we were expecting with Jimmy at the helm? Because we know how him and Trey had that,
Yeah.
that streak. Like, do you think Brandon Ayuk's not going to be as good as we thought this year because Jimmy's there, or what do you think?
I think his numbers will take a dip. I also feel like, and not to get off topic, but I also feel like Danny Gray is going to take a hit in his rookie season. That deep ball, could be pretty much non-existent, with Jimmy G at the helm. Jimmy G is not known for the deep shots, the deep balls, a lot of over the middle. We do know this about Ayuk. He is definitely the best route runner on the team. So, if you can use that to hit his slants or, get open over the middle, Jimmy can find him in those situations. But, yeah, I think his numbers would definitely take a step back to where I think they would have been around midseason once Lance got a little bit more settled into the offense, and understand a little bit more of everything going around him. I think around midseason and beyond was where I would have expected him and Ayuk to pick it up a lot more. I definitely think he takes a little bit of a hit with Jimmy G. Guys like Kittle, guys like Debo, they're going to benefit from what Jimmy G brings to the squad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Brandon Ayuk did kind of step it up the second half of the season with Jimmy at the helm last year, and I think they had a little bit better connection. But you're right. Like, their timing just isn't the same. Even this week, there was some drop passes from Ayuk, and it was actually a good pass from Jimmy. He threw a dime. They let him cook. And we talked about this, how they kind of let Jimmy sling it a little bit more. I mean, he's not going to go out there and throw 60, 70-yard passes, but he was throwing 30-yard passes on this game, and that's a little bit than I've seen out of him. It's definitely going to take a hit on those deep bomb production plays, but, Kyle knows what Jimmy brings to the table, and they're going to use those little intermediate over-the-middle plays. I do think that Ayuk maybe has a little bit dip in production, but they're trying. They try to get the ball to Ayuk. He wants that ball. Danny Gray, I could tell he was a little frustrated. He's a rookie. He's got to learn that, hey, this quarterback's not going to really be tailored to your suits. Danny Gray was a Trey Lance draft pick. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Trey
Absolutely.
Lance draft pick. And
right.
We may have to wait a little bit to see Danny Gray unleash the full potential of what he can be until Trey comes back, because, yeah, that's definitely 100% Trey Lance pick. But, yeah, like you said, Kittle, he'll probably be back this week. And that's going to open it up for everybody. Like, this offense is going to go crazy now with Kittle, because we see what he's done with Jimmy historically and Debo. And, it's going to be a little bit more dangerous than it could have been. It would have been dangerous with Trey in there. But now you got Kittle back most likely this week. We'll see what the practice reports are. But if Kittle's back, yeah, definitely going to be beneficial for Jimmy and the rest of this offense. The one thing, I just hope that he doesn't get locked in on Kittle, because Jimmy does tend to get, like, locked in on a guy, and it's usually Kittle, and people know and they can read him. Yeah.
And especially if Kittle's guarded and Jimmy feels like Kittle's always open. That's how Jimmy views Kittle. And he does tend to force balls in situations where they shouldn't be put. But I don't know. We'll see. It's good to have Kittle back, though, especially in the run game, especially if you're getting down to guys like Jordan Mason, who hasn't really proven anything in the league. We've seen him in the preseason and stuff like that. So having Kittle back in the run game is definitely going to be where our running back situation is with injuries and things like that. Definitely huge for Kittle to get back see that in the run game.
100%. It's going to be nice to see Kittle for that run game, especially. Like, we know he's going to be a beast in the passing, but run game especially. I got a comment here from David Villa. He says, what do you guys think about Grant Cohn saying that we should get Cam Newton as the backup? I'll let you hit this first, and then I'll laugh at it, and I'll tackle it.
Cam Newton's done. Colin Kaepernick is done. Let it go, people. Let it go. Cam Newton is done. My guy's in the fashion business selling coats and alligator skin. Cam Newton's done. Grant Cohn, I don't listen very much to Grant Cohn, so here we are.
Sometimes he has some things that I like what he says.
Yeah.
Guy doesn't.
But for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, he's a content creator. He's out there grinding. I respect it. But this is just a silly take. Cam Newton, there's no need for a glitzy quarterback. You have Jimmy Garoppolo. He's your glitzy quarterback. Whether there's people that like it or not, Jimmy Garoppolo is our quarterback. This is the reason they brought him back. The plan B, the insurance policy. Jimmy's the guy. Why do you want, the last thing we need is more drama with another, high-profile quarterback. We just went through the most dramatic offseason, right? You had the whole Trey Lance and Jimmy, the offseason drama. Are they going to trade Jimmy? And then he comes back, and now people are saying, Trey wasn't ready then. He breaks his ankle, and now it's like, oh, bring in Cam Newton. We just don't want any. I don't want any more drama. It's been enough. If you bring in Cam Newton, he's gonna be coming in with his little handkerchief over his head, and they're gonna be like, when is Cam starting? Is he gonna be starting over Jimmy Garoppolo? We don't need drama anymore. There's no need. We're getting dollar store quarterbacks because they're hoping that Jimmy can lead this team, and the team loves Jimmy Garoppolo. You saw that touchdown last week when he scored, and they picked him up and they hugged him, and this team believes in Jimmy. This is Jimmy Garoppolo's team moving forward. There's no need to bring anybody else. Like, I get it. Cam Newton can run between tackles like Kyle wants a mobile quarterback to do. But if they didn't get Cam Newton the last 2 or 3 years, they're not going to do it this year. Yeah, there's no need for
everything above that, more so than just the play. Cam Newton is not a Kyle and John Lynch kind of guy. Okay, the way he is, he's vibrant, he's outspoken. Just that whole aura that Cam Newton is known for, that's not a Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch kind of guy. Won't ever happen. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. I like what Mariah says. Cam's got the feather hat. He's got the little feather hat.
That boy has fashion sense, but we're good on that. We're good on that. Stay in the fashion business, Cam.
Him, Debo, and Trent Williams would be a vibe together with their fashion. It would be fun to see it. What's up, Niner?
You see together on airplanes.
Oh, man. My man, Niner Detail says, to hell with Cam Newton, respectfully. Jimmy is the guy for this team. Yo, man, Jimmy's the guy. He's done it before. He's brought us to a, NFC championship. They went to a Super Bowl. Obviously, he wasn't the only reason. Defense carried this team with the run game, and Jimmy knows the offense. He's a guy that could come in, and he knows exactly what plays Kyle wants to run, and he does what's asked from him, and that's what Kyle wants. He wants a guy that's going to run his offense the way he wants it. Is he an elite passer? No. Is he going to sit there and win? Are you going to win games because of Jimmy? No, but he knows how to run the offense like a well-oiled machine. He's going to make his share of mistakes, but every quarterback does. Team loves him. There's no need for Cam Newton.
And I made a post literally about 20 minutes ago about that situation with Jimmy G moving forward. I've been very outspoken and opinionated with Jimmy G. I feel like, we've seen the ceiling for Jimmy G with the injuries and everything else. But right now, he's overcome so much. He's had a lot of adversity as well throughout the offseason. Right now, as the Niners community, the faithful, it's just time to embrace it. There's been so much Trey side versus Jimmy G side, right? It's been a clash, and it's been a division. It's divided the fan base really. Right now, Trey going out, absolutely heartbroken, sucks. Wish my boy was out there, but you have to embrace Jimmy G right now. He's overcome a lot of adversity as well. He's the guy going forward for 2022, whether you like it or not. Jimmy G has been a part of teams to the Super Bowl and NFC Championship, and you hit it right on the head when you said Jimmy G is not going to be the reason you get to a Super Bowl. We just need him to manage our way to the Super Bowl. This defense, all 3 levels are stacked from secondary linebacking to the defensive line. That right there is a big case of why you can win a championship. But I just really hope that the faithful can, just rally around the team, get behind the team. Enough of the division, the controversy, the back and forth, who created what. It's all about that 6th ring right now. And I really hope that Jimmy goes out there and rewrites the story. Prove me wrong. Prove the doubters wrong. Go out there. Man, we'll throw roses at you. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he can do that, and hopefully we can get our ring.
100%. Let's all eat crow. If Jimmy proves everybody wrong, then he gets the laugh. And again, he has incentives in his contract. Every time he wins, he gets the $350K. He's going to play. I think Niners Detail hit the nail on the head. This is what we were saying yesterday, that Jimmy's got nothing to lose. He's playing with house money. When a quarterback plays with nothing to lose, chip on their shoulder, bag of Doritos on their shoulders, you coming out swinging, man, big dick energy. He's going to throw his nuts on the table, and he's going to come out and let it rip, bro. Bro, I think he's going to come out and be low-key 2017 Jimmy. I think he's going to play with the fire inside of him. I mean, I still saw some, typical Jimmy, oh, my God, what if moments, almost some interceptions. But there were some times I was like, yo, that's a dime, Jimmy. And he didn't train in training camp. He didn't even really practice. Yeah. Considering everything just thrown into the fire, it wasn't bad, man. And I think he's going to, again, the team loves him. Like you said, he's been through adversity. So I feel like they embraced him because they're like, man, they almost traded this guy away. He just came in and helped us beat the Seahawks, who we never beat. So I feel like the team's like, yo, let's rally behind Jimmy. This is our guy. And again, he's always been like the leader of this team, and he's put up through all this nonsense. And, he may not be the best quarterback, but he's the best for them right now. And, dude, what a story this would be if they turn this around. Your future franchise guy that you went out and traded all the assets for the guy that you're trying to replace. You couldn't replace him. He stayed on the roster. He gets to play because of the injury to the franchise quarterback, and he takes you to the promised. Like, what a fucking story that would be, man. Go sign me up for the,
Yeah, and like you said, it's house money. It's a contract year. You go out with a bang, you're going to be looked at like, okay, Jimmy G, what you got for me in 2023? What are we talking about dollar-wise? We see what Debo did on a contract year. To have Jimmy out there, with a possible free agent, if he goes and makes a run like that, good for Jimmy G, and he's gonna collect that bag.
He's gonna collect that bag because he's nothing to lose. What's up, Vlad? Just joined the
Vlad.
Stuff helps. Yeah, guys, I'm
coming in with some energy today in the group chat. So I need you to say what you got to say, man. How you feeling today, Vlad?
Listen, it's really Super Bowl or bust. That's really what it's about. Like, we don't have first round picks, boys. There's no first round picks. So you got nothing. There's if we don't win the Super Bowl this year, you threw away 4 years.
Yeah.
Because you don't have anything. You don't have any first round picks coming. Jimmy, again, is going to start games in 2023 and 2024. You're going to have to give him an extension. Regardless, you can't bring back Trey with no insurance policy. So you just threw away the three first round picks. Trey's banged out. You don't know how he's going to come back, what he's going to look like, what he's going to be. If Jimmy does well, you have no choice but to give him a contract extension. So it's legitimately Super Bowl or you blew 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, it is a Super Bowl roster that they have right now. Again, you got Nick Bosa entering the prime of his career. You got Fred Warner, prime of his career. Debo, all these guys in the peak of their career. Trent Williams is not going to be any younger.
He's not getting better.
Yeah, these guys want to win now, so I think they're going to be hungry and play for it. And if they make a deep run, if whatever they get to, Super Bowl, NFC Championship, whatever, they go far, they definitely will probably bring Jimmy back because he took him here, and they're going to be loyal to him. And it's like, dang, man, Trey's still coming back from an injury. Although he could come back, before the end of the season. There's reports saying it could be 10 to 12 weeks. I mean, it depends. If Jimmy's rolling, even if Trey's healthy, I don't think they put him back this year because they want to 100%. No. And regardless, Jimmy, this is Trey's team in the future. But again, he's the insurance policy. So just like you did with Jimmy. So I still think you're right on that, Vlad. I know you've been saying that a lot, that Jimmy's probably going to come back. I think you're right. I know everybody's saying, oh, this is his contract season to prove himself for another team. If the Niners win a lot of games with them and they go far, they might just end up keeping them, man. I could see it.
Franchise tag's a crazy thing.
Yeah, whatever it is. God bless them. I hope the best for the team. I don't want bad things to happen to these people. I don't hate. I just don't. I don't agree. I don't agree with half the shit that John Lynch does, but I don't hate the guy. He's a good guy. Yeah. But you put the whole future of the franchise on it, bro. You don't have a choice anymore. I told you guys in all offseason, everyone was so hyped on Trey. Trey's the king of the NFC, right? Smitty, everyone's already crowning him. They're crowning him before he even takes his first snap. They're crowning him. I told you guys, Jimmy's going to start games and win for the Niners this year. And everyone's like, oh, you're crazy. Kyle Shanahan can't get out of his own way. That's the problem. The talent on the field is there. It's decision making.
I don't think that Trey would have been benched for bad play. I feel like at that point it would have taken an injury like it did. I don't think Trey, if he would have went out there and thrown 3 interception games, I don't think they would have benched him.
That is the
If
big
he
question.
listen,
Hold up, would Kyle have taken Trey out if he would have struggled in his first year? That's the big. We'll never know. It's like how many licks did it take to get to the center of the lollipop?
Yep.
The world never know.
He would have.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Kyle. It's Kyle.
It's unfortunate. You know,
I know you don't want to think that, CMAC, and it hurts.
No, it's because Shanahan's ego is so big, he cannot admit when he's wrong. If you take out Trey and put in Jimmy, you're admitting you blundered this entire situation. You should have never invested in a Trey. You should have never benched Jimmy. You should have never looked into trading him. He would never admit he was wrong. Him benching Trey for bad play and putting in Jimmy is an admission that he was wrong. He would never in a million years admit that. Never.
Unless he goes on the hot seat and people start pressuring him, then he might do crazy things. So it is
I don't know.
worth debating. I don't know. I want to pull up this comment from Hendricks real quick. He said kind of two things. He goes, I've questioned how much they wanted to develop Trey without playing him year one. Now he's going to miss year two, unfortunately, right? Year three will be rehab. Year four is the last year of a rookie contract. So he says they haven't been able to take advantage of Trey's rookie contract. It's definitely unfortunate, you know, and this is one of the things we thought last year. Okay, you draft the guy. Are you going to trade away Jimmy? And they did it, and they kept him. And it's like, okay, you know, it's developmental year, which is fine. Teams do that. And then now this year, it sucks because he doesn't get that year of development, and he hasn't played football since what was it 2019?
2019, yeah.
2020 because of COVID. 2021, it was developing as a rookie. So it's going to be a long time since Trey actually plays some football. It sucks, man. It does really suck for him. Like, I feel bad for Trey. So they are going to need some insurance because you just never know. Because he's going to be coming in to the season next year coming off a big injury. He's going to be mentally, like physically, he's going to be fine. He's a 22-year-old man. That's going to be easy in terms of rehab. I mean, not easy because rehab is not easy. But in terms of healing, your body will heal. 22, your body heals fine. I wish I was 22, man. I healed like a damn. But I'm not anymore. Seriously. But mentally, that is so tough, man. He might be hesitant to run. He's a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
You got to think about. Look at he came back from the ACL. He didn't want to run at all, man. That 2019 season. So it's definitely something to think about. Next year's going to be a little bit of a weird season. It's going to be more of a development year for Trey instead of man, this is my second year in the league. I've learned so much. A different vibe, man.
Yeah, and especially it was one for all the pressure this year without any kind of injury. This is a lot of pressure just this team's ready to win now. That's all the pressure. You go into it next year coming off of a rehab of your ankle in a horrible injury, plus the pressure of on the team to win now, and you still haven't even developed properly. This kid has been dealt a bad hand. Yeah, and I hope he just can overcome it, man.
I hope the best for him, but if you look at it, you're gonna like anyone that says he's gonna be the QB1 next year coming into the season, you're nuts. There's zero chance that happens.
Not guaranteed. I think he will be because you did.
Yeah, I think there is a chance.
But it's. I want to say what you're saying, Vlad. Isn't it crazy to say that it's not guaranteed because it's not guaranteed. I think
there's no way
it should be. What I want to say is I don't agree that there shouldn't be like controversy over it. But this is Kyle Shanahan. This is the 49ers. There's always some damn controversy with the quarterback. That's, again, going back to the whole Cam Newton thing. That's why I don't want Cam Newton because then there would still be more controversy in the whole thing. So it's crazy, man. I just feel so bad for Trey. But, again, moving forward, we got to unfortunately move on from it and rally behind Jimmy. And, you know, I think they're going to win a lot of games because this is a very good team. Can we talk about this defense again, man? This defense is solid. Hufanga, again, rising star. Bosa, Warner, Drake. You saw Drake Green like
Drake Jackson
punching the ball, man. I was rewatching.
That was the ultimate peanut punch. He was hitting like somebody stole his money.
Seriously.
I'm like, damn, you know you got. It's tough if you're the running back holding that ball and you're just getting punched in the forearms like that. That's tough.
Bro, I was rewatching it. I missed this shit. He was just I was like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, Daryl Johnson was calling the game. He said the old peanut punch, and I'm like, that's not the peanut punch. That is a super form peanut punch.
That dude's trying to break his ribs.
That's like, you remember Street Fighter? What was that? The boxing guy, Balrog, or not Balrog?
Yeah.
He looked like the guy from Street Fighter, just throwing haymakers, dude.
Yeah, bombing on that guy.
Yeah,
he almost had it.
Yeah, but again, with the defense, this is why it's Super Bowl or bust. This is the number one reason why it's Super Bowl or bust. And two is because Jimmy G has been here and taken us deep in not taking us, but been a part of the team that's gone deep into the playoffs. This defense, to me, is better than 2019, which, you know, is crazy. I feel like the defensive line was better, but the back end, even Sherman at that time, you know, was kind of a liability with his speed and things like that. This secondary is absolutely insane. And we don't even have Jimmy Ward and JV back yet. So, and then you have Azeez, who, you know, wasn't in the 2019, like in this shape and form that he's with right now. So those three linebackers are the best trio in the league. And then, of course, the defensive line is still built. But this defense right now is the number one reason why it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, it's really going to be up to the offense to stay on the field and keep them fresh over 16 more, except 15 more games now. Because like that's listen, for anyone that's in this live, for anyone, whatever you want to believe, whatever, you know, memory you have, the playoffs last year, we were a laughing stock because there was Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, that's how it's always going to be.
You know, so everyone was dogging us last year, including the people in this watching. You know what I mean? Even we were like, damn, Jimmy Garoppolo. And in the playoffs, Jimmy Garoppolo is one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history in the playoffs. So like, it's really gonna be up to Kyle to not step on his own feet and make the right decisions, because if you saw what happened after halftime, Jimmy went like 6 for 11 for like 40 yards or something like that. Like after the adjustments were made by Pete Carroll, the game was different. So yeah, we like Jimmy needs to play consistent, which he really never has. And that defense needs to stay fresh. That's the only way we're gonna. Because, bro, you're gonna agree with me. You don't know if Jeff Wilson's gonna play all 17 games.
Right. Yeah.
We need to make sure that like this offense stays on the field. That's the bottom line.
Right. And not to make excuses for Jimmy, but I mean, dude, you didn't have a training camp. You're thrown in cold. You know what I mean? In that situation, and now it's gonna be a little bit different for Jimmy for this season, because he's going to go into practice tomorrow knowing this is my team again. So it's going to be hitting on all cylinders mentally. You know, he's not going to be out there teaching some young kid in Trey Lance. He's going to have that mindset of this is my squad again. I need to do what I need to do, you know, and go forward in that manner.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a whole different situation with Jimmy and the quarterback room, because now he knows this is his room again. Like it wasn't backup. And he said in his press conference, like, yeah, you know, being the backup, it's so different. You don't get all the installments and everything, and your playbook's so limited. Now it's a whole different situation. He didn't mention too that during the game they were calling different plays. He was like, yo, these plays are different.
Yeah. New plays. Yep.
Jimmy do a lot more again. He's playing with house money, man. He's playing with house money.
He is, like, and again, he's gonna get an extension at the end of this year. Like he's gonna get another bag, and he needs to make sure that like his biggest thing, honestly, is making sure that he can stay healthy. As long as he doesn't get injured and miss significant time in the year, he's gonna get another bag. Like the whole controversy of Trey was like, no, you got to make sure his base cap is the same or less than mine. That's out the window, Trey. Like we don't even know if you can play next year. If Jimmy Garoppolo takes the team into the playoffs, he's getting a bag. He's getting an extension. It might be like 3 years, $75 million. You know what I mean? It might be a short-term deal. I mean, but he's gonna get himself a bag.
I mean, if we make it to the playoffs, we made it to the NFC Championship last year, and after the game, Jimmy's done for. It's Trey's team now. You know what I'm saying? So
we all thought.
Huh? Well, you know, we all thought. But even if Jimmy is a part of going into the playoffs, it's still going to be on his play. If he's not the reason we're winning games, or, you know what I'm saying? At this point in his career and where he's been with the team, he should be a good reason why we are winning games. what we've seen so far is he's not really big. It's a microscopic reason why we're winning games.
But the teams behind, like that offensive line, plays so hard for him. Mike McGlinchey will take a bullet for that dude. Like George Kittle has a groin issue. He doesn't care about his groin anymore. He was ready to suit up at halftime last week.
But these are the same guys who were on the team this year after it was announced that Trey was getting the keys to the car. So it's the same thing. If Jimmy G does not perform like he didn't perform last year, your boy's gonna be a free agent. Like he has to show that he can be the reason why we're winning games. He has to show that he can be a big part of why we're winning games and why we can win a championship. If he shows that, like he did when we played New Orleans back in 2019, that Jimmy G, I'm good with that. You can keep that Jimmy G and move forward. But
isn't the locker room being 100% sold and all in on him a reason why you win games? Because everyone comes out there on the field going, we know what we have to do. We know our job. We're going to go out there and do our job. This young kid's not going to be scrambling trying to make superstar plays. We just need to do our job. Jimmy's going to lead us. Bro, they were ready to take their shirts off and start spinning on the field when he scored that touchdown.
Right, because we know that Jimmy can manage the offense. We weren't sure if Trey can manage the offense because he's young. We had to develop him. We wouldn't know until we put Trey in. We know that Jimmy G can manage and game manage. We know that. But he was paid a certain amount of money to be more than a game manager. There's a reason why the front office, and even you, Vlad, was like, this Jimmy G guy has got to go. I'm done with Jimmy G and how average he's playing and won't take over games. The front office seen that. That's why Jimmy G was supposedly on the trading block. It was supposed to be traded. Whatever happened. He has to take over and win us games. If that doesn't happen, I don't see Jimmy G being a starter next year. I know we're trying to focus on this season, but I can't see it. If you're ready to get rid of him this year for him just being a game manager, how do you keep him going forward if he doesn't show that he's the reason we're winning games? That's all I'm saying.
But because and if Vlad hit it on the head. Sorry, I was posting something. I was just looking at Trey Lance's story. Talanoa Hufanga to his hospital. Yo, shout out to Talanoa Hufanga, man. He's the realest of everybody. He went out and he's shown a lot of support. So, anyways, that's what I was doing. But I want to say Vlad hit it on the head. Is the team loves Jimmy, man. Like you saw the touchdown. They pulled him up like it was like his baptism. It was like, oh God, they were gonna like they were like loving up on him. Like they loved him. And you said this too, CMAC. Like they saw the stuff that Jimmy went through, all the adversity.
Yeah,
they almost traded him away. They love him, dude. And not only the players, the front office. Like, why do you think they kept him through all this? Like through all this stuff, he was still there. He was still the guy. So I honestly feel that they would keep him just because he's a safety net. They know they could do stuff with him. Like like you said it too. He could run the offense. He can do what he needs to do. He does a lot that we don't see all that stuff because we look at the box where we watch the game and we're like, holy God, that's a hospital ball from Jimmy. But in the locker room, how he hypes people up, like his command of the offense, he has it, and they love him for that. Like whether we think he's great or not, the team loves him. And like one of the things he said, like Trent Williams, he comes in, he has the huddle. Like a few weeks ago when they were talking to Trey and Jimmy and stuff like that, how can you improve? He goes, I got to speak up louder because Jimmy is so loud out there. Even though when I was at the game, you could hear just the difference in cadence. Like those little things, the team like sees that like, oh, this is my lead or this is my captain. Like just small things like that, you know? So
yeah,
it's a possibility.
And I can see obviously the players, that's a brotherhood, right? They're going to love Jimmy G. Saying that the front office loves Jimmy G, there's one reason why Jimmy G is still on the roster, and that's because of shoulder surgery. John Lynch was shopping Jimmy G until the wheels fell off the shopping cart, basically. So once the shoulder surgery came a thing, nobody was interested. If there was no shoulder surgery, the front office was shopping Jimmy. As far as we know, John Lynch said there was buyers. So they were willing to trade Jimmy G. So the narrative that they love Jimmy G in the front office, yeah, I think that they didn't want to let him go because they see that there is value for Jimmy G, obviously, and they don't want to let him just walk. So they did what they thought they could, and they restructured his contract and brought him back to the team. But to say the front office absolutely is in love with Jimmy G and is okay with him as quarterback one, moving forward in 2023, I don't buy it at all. There's a reason why Jimmy G is still here, because of shoulder surgery. He would have been traded and off the team had they got value in a trade for Jimmy G.
I don't know, man. And I guess maybe it didn't happen, so they're like, well, we're going to keep him. And now I think it's back to what I was saying earlier, and I think Vlad touched on this too, is insurance, because you do have a young quarterback coming off a major injury. You need insurance. It's so funny to me that I'm sitting here saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is the insurance policy. You know what I mean? Like it's like literally the most ironic story of all time. But like that's the Niners. Yeah. We are ironic. What I want to do is I want to switch gears because we can sit here and talk about it all day. I love the comments. Everybody, real quick, hit that like button, everybody. If you're in the chat, hit the like button. I just want to say I appreciate everybody in the chat. Yo, we got 5K. We're over 5K subscribers. We're getting close to reapplying to. We're getting close to applying for YouTube partnership, and hopefully we get there so we can do super chats. I see all the comments. I try my best to manage it. When we get super chats, it'll be a little bit easier for me to kind of make sure we get those comments there. There's gonna be other stuff, but really, honestly, I can't do any of this. We couldn't even have this platform if it wasn't for all the Niner faithful fans. Appreciate you. I love the chat, man. I've been on a lot of other YouTube shows and watching other shows. Like, honestly, this chat is so good. These guys are great. You guys
lit.
The fans are not really negative. Like, on Instagram, it's a different vibe, man. But you guys are so great. Like, I honestly want to say commend you. I feel like the community we're building here on YouTube is so amazing. So shout out to everybody following and subscribing to this YouTube. I love you guys so much. And continue to hit that like button. We're getting close to applying again for YouTube partnership. Hopefully we can, so we can do super chats, and I can really make sure we get all those questions. Moving forward, I want to play this clip. Kay Adams, this morning, she basically was like, yo, you guys need to stop blaming Kyle Shanahan, because I want to talk about it today and today only. After this, I'm not going to bring it up anymore because there's still people blaming Kyle. There's still people that are saying it's not Kyle's fault. There's like a whole, there's sides to it, just like there always is with Niner fans. It was like Team Jimmy, Team Trey. Now it's Team Kyle, no Team Kyle, right? So let me play what she had to say, and then we can discuss it.
Quickly, Trey Lance carted off. We got to get to this. Early in yesterday's Niners game, listen, this was his third career start, absolutely brutal, broke his ankle, done for the season. Jimmy Garoppolo comes in, and he was solid. He had one passing touchdown to Dwelly, he had a rushing touchdown, good passer rating, 27-7 win over Seattle, and he had this big smile. And who should be smiling? The Niners brass, because they look like geniuses. Simple takeaway, but it matters. Everyone seemed to think it was a foregone conclusion that he would and should be traded. They got so much grief for bringing Jimmy Garoppolo back into the building, so much venom, but they reworked his deal to keep him around, and it might have saved their season. Do you understand? It might have saved their season. By the way, Fire Kyle was trending, with many a disgruntled fan and bitter pundit in the Bay Area criticizing Shanahan for endangering Trey Lance. This is ridiculous. Harbaugh didn't get blamed for Lamar getting hurt, did he? Sirianni wouldn't get blamed if Hurts got injured. McDermott won't get blamed if Josh Allen goes down. Collinsworth said in the fourth quarter last night that maybe Eberflus should get Fields running a bit when they got effective in the run game against Green Bay. Why do we need someone to blame? Really think about that as you're celebrating your wins for your team or you're trying to rebuild or figure things out. Shanahan utilized his quarterback skill set in a way that any good offensive-minded coach would. To say otherwise is honestly a bit laughable. Fire Kyle, you cannot like him. You might not like him in a press conference. And I know it's frustrating when players get hurt. It is an unfortunate reality of the game. It doesn't mean it's somebody's fault.
Whew. Did you guys hear that?
I missed the whole thing. I don't know why it is when you play videos, my stuff gets stuck. So I missed the whole thing. But just talking what she said.
Did you hear that, Vlad?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, so
I heard it before earlier in the day.
So she basically says that we can't keep putting this on Kyle. Unfortunately, injuries happen. Like, we can't just keep putting the onus on Kyle. Like, it's not his fault. I get it. He wants to run his quarterback, but that's the skill set he brings, and that's the element. And he's just going out there calling these plays, and injuries happen, basically. That's kind of the gist of what she said. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I know the chat is going wild now. Now the chat, they love it. They love it. There's some people that, like Drew says, no, Kyle is at fault. Any good coach would wouldn't treat Trey like a fullback. And then there says, Eric says, it's the situation. It was totally avoidable. Our running backs were running good. Why use Trey to run between the tackles? And then there's a lot of people that are like, yo, it's a good point. Is no one at fault for RG3, the RG3 as well? So Maverick says, no remorse by Kyle. I feel most of the people in the chat are feeling like it's still Kyle's head on a splatter. What do you think about this?
That lady has, with all due respect, I don't know. I'm sure she's really nice. I'm sure she did really good in school.
She's fine as hell, though. I'll say that.
Yo, very, very, Adams, I love actually.
Yeah.
Good Morning Football misses her. She's good.
Yeah.
She's a good Adams. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Tell me some producer. Some what is it? Some what are they called? I used to do this when I intern. Some intern just gave her a bunch of stats, and she's listen, lady. I respect, all due respect. Trey Lance is on pace for 209 rushing attempts as a rookie. So you don't know what you're talking about. It's nice. It's good. I'm happy you have your job. God bless you. But like you're just saying talking points that some intern gave you. There's a way to use quarterbacks, right? There's a way to do things. And then there's a way where you're putting him in. I'm not telling you that Kyle Shanahan wanted Trey Lance to get injured. I'm telling you that when you're this is any sport, it's anything in life. When you're coaching someone, when you're teaching someone, you see that they have tendencies. You see that when you call a play and it's an option run and it's second and long, you've seen it 5,000 times in practice. If Debo's next to him, he gives Debo the ball. If Debo's not next to him, he tucks it and runs. You know what he's going to do. You know a player's tendencies. Kyle rushed this kid 12.4 times a game. That's insane. There's running backs like DeAndre Swift on the Lions. He gets 15 touches a game. Your quarterback's getting 12 and a half. And then this lady's going to sit there and tell you that it's not Kyle Shanahan's fault. And then after the kid breaks his leg, he goes on the press conference and smirks about it and does that. Oh, would you rather have me do it on 2nd and 4th? No, Kyle, I'd rather not have you run your 22. You know what I'm saying?
And like again, that goes back to. Go ahead, Vlad. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sure this lady's a sweet lady. I'm sure she's smart. I'm sure she did great in school. Everything else. I'm sure she checks all the boxes. But she doesn't know what she's talking about. She has no.
Like the fine meatloaf.
Yeah, she's pretty. She says the right thing. She doesn't know what she's talking. She probably didn't even watch the game. She probably didn't watch the game. What she's talking about.
I know Kay Adams. It was a big supporter of Jimmy G, and Jimmy G being QB1 for the Niners. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe not. But again, I'm going to sound like a broken record from last night. Yes, there was a comment that Raj pinned. Yes, Trey Lance is a mobile quarterback. You're supposed to do it when you need him to be. Not hand him the ball for chunk yardage on a quarterback draw when your running backs are picking up over 5 yards a carry. What's the point? Trey Lance is, yes, again, mobile. He did it in college. Again, college, not NFL speed, not NFL-sized linebackers, none of that.
Division 2.
Right, exactly. Not even Division 1. Trey Lance is mobile, so if the pocket collapses, things fall or break down around him, then yes, get outside the pocket, be mobile, do that. That there is a chance for you to get injured. Yes, there is crazy chances for you to get injured in the NFL. But why would you put your quarterback in the situation for more opportunity to get hurt? Him running outside of the pocket when it collapses and extending plays is already a risk in itself. Handing him the ball directly up the middle against linebackers is a whole nother risk that you really didn't need in that situation because our running backs are picking up chunk yardage. Yes, Kyle Shanahan deserves blame for the way he used Trey Lance in week 2, also in week 1, because this is also the year that you wanted Trey to develop. How are you going to develop your quarterback by just running him and not making him throw NFL-type throws, not making him sit there and make reads? He's running quarterback draws in situations we don't need. Yes, Kyle Shanahan deserves some blame for the injury. I get injured. I get it that injuries happen, but you don't have to put that risk factor out there in that situation.
Yeah. So I want to address this too. So I see it from all the angles. I know a lot of people that says, you really think Kyle wants his quarterback to get hurt? No, of course he doesn't want his quarterback to get hurt. And like, this is the thing, man. And I love that kind of quarterback. That was one of the things that was like so exciting for me when I saw it. I was like, oh my God, the run game, it's going to open it up. He's going to be able to spread the field. He's going to be able to, break outside the pocket. And, even Justin Fields, when I was looking at the film last year, and I was, me, I was Fields at 3, I was excited for all that, right? Because I like the threat of a mobile quarterback. I just do. I want the guy to sling it, but Trey had the best of both worlds. Deep arm, beautiful, passing ability with the ability to extend the plays. But the fact that he's running a 3rd and 2, like a QB power quarterback up the middle between the tackles, that's where I'm like, okay, I don't think you should really do it. I get it. It's the game plan. It's a running option. You can hand it to the running back, because there was a play earlier, the 50-yard play from Debo, where we talked about he razzle-dazzle, sliced through the defenders. I mean, that was the option. He gave it to Debo, and he did the rest of the work. Second time they run it, Trey takes it up the middle, and it definitely was a shitty incident, freak accident, and you can't predict it. Like, you're just like, oh my God, this sucks, dude. Trey's he's a great runner, but in college he was bigger than most people. So I feel like Kyle, maybe he was like, he was running people over in college, he can do it in the pros, but that's not the case. He's not bigger, faster, stronger than these guys. I love Trey running, but I don't like him running in between the middle of the field.
Yes.
He's running outside runs and running, sweeps and stuff like that. Cool. But there's still a threat of injury, because every quarterback that runs, there's a threat of injury. And that's the scary thing about having a mobile quarterback. And I think that's why Kyle traditionally likes these guys that aren't mobile. Like, let's be honest. He's had Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, Jimmy Garoppolo, Brian Hoyer, CJ Beathard, Nick Mullins, all these quarterbacks. He was linked towards Mac Jones. All of them are very similar in the fact that they are not mobile quarterbacks. They're drop-back quarterbacks, because you don't have the threat of injury if you're going to make them run. Because now Kyle has this extra, like, play calling ability, and he's like, oh, God, I can add this. Like, it is a fun thing to add to the offense. Like, oh, shit, look at Trey dicing him up the middle. Like, it's cool to see it, but it's very hard to sustain that. And you're right, Vlad. He was about to run at a blistering pace. Like, what, you said 200 times a game?
219 times he was on
That's
pace,
a lot.
That's
a lot. Like,
a lot of carries, bro.
It's insane.
And not only that, but even Jimmy, he was running Jimmy up the middle, QB
Good.
Like, Jimmy might get hurt.
Do it more. No, do it more. If you're gonna play that game, Kyle, do it with everybody. If that's, you know what I'm saying, bro. Like, people, that's that lady again. Back to that one. Just you don't know what you're talking about, and
that's
like,
why Kyle should take some onus, because it's the way he did it. It's not the fact of the matter of he didn't. Like, it's his fault that Trey got hurt. It wasn't his fault that Trey got hurt, because it's a freak injury. But it's his play calling that led to it. So in a matter of fact way, he should take a little blame. But you have to realize you have this quarterback. He does have a unique skill set, but you can't abuse it. I think he abused it too much. And it's like last year, Arizona, right? They ran him 16 times that game. Mm-hmm. Flash forward to this year, we were all saying, let's just hope he doesn't run him that much, and he still did. He still went on, and he ran him like that. So I feel like he didn't learn from that situation, and maybe he just didn't trust him to throw yet, because when Jimmy came in, they were slinging it, man. So maybe he didn't trust the development 100%, so he wanted him to run. We'll never know. We don't know what's going behind.
So again, that says something about the coach and the coaching. That you just answered the whole question, literally, without answering.
If you look at those plays, like, all right, so when Trey, someone broke down some of the play, because he didn't have that many offensive snaps, but when he had the offensive snaps, there was 4 down linemen, you had the linebackers, and your safeties. As soon as Jimmy came on the field, a safety came into the box, because they know we're going to run the ball more. As soon as Jimmy came on the field, if you watch that second quarter, Pete Carroll saw it, brought the safety in the box, said, you're going to have to pass on us to beat us.
Yeah. Raj, I got to get out of here, though.
No doubt. We're going to wrap it up anyway. Appreciate you, CMAC. 2 days in a row, man.
Hey, man, your boy was off work, took some time off from work, had a little bit of time. But we can make this a thing. I know I'm on the East Coast. You go live at a time that I'm at work.
But around this time, about between like 2:30, 3:30. I think it's a good time. We got to make this a thing. We love having you on, CMAC. The fans love you, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Vlad, Raj, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all in the group chat. Y'all have a great night.
Yeah, we got to. People would love that group chat. Take care. Vlad, any final things? What do you got? We did sign a quarterback, Kurt Benkert, today, and Marlon Mack's getting elevated to the active roster. We talked about that already. Not much other than that. What do you got? What do you think about this league moving forward?
I think we smashed the Broncos this week. I really do. I think we steamroll them. Their offense is in shambles. Like if I was watching some breakdowns of Russ, like he can't set his feet, and that was against the Houston Texans pass rush. Wait until Nick Bosa and the boys come in town. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be running around that field. I really believe that we're going to beat them. We're going to beat the Denver Broncos. We're going to go into Monday night against LA. That's where it's going to get grimy. That's where you're going to see, like, because Sean McVay, he ain't no punk. He knows he loses to Kyle a lot. He's not going to be, it's not going to be an easy game. I still believe we have the Rams number. I don't think they're better than they were last year. And Jimmy just elevates his game against them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So I really do think you're going to come out. We're going to come out like what now? 3-1.
If we win the next two games, we're 3-1. That's a solid start to the year. I agree. I think we could come into Denver and play them damn good. Our defense is just lights out right now.
Good.
Russell Wilson's not looking too hot, but Russell Wilson's tough against us. He traditionally has a great history against us. But that was with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll, you mentioned this earlier about how he kind of had his tendencies with the Niners. Like, he knew Trey was going to run. You're right. He knew Trey was going to run those moments. He figured out Jimmy in the second half. Jimmy came in and he was dicing him. But I think Pete made the right adjustments. They played a tight second half. Like, it was closer than the score looks like on, you look at the paper, you're like, oh, Niners blew them out. It was kind of close. I was holding my breath for a lot of that game. But that's the difference is Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited, he doesn't have Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll was a big key component to its success, man. Russell Wilson's a weird guy, though. I want to bring this up. I was talking to my buddy Moose, one of my good friends, the guy that, my insider friend and everything. We've been friends from like high school, and we were talking about Russell Wilson. There's this meme or this video or something that talked about how Russell Wilson seems like he's an actual, he's like a method actor. He's not a true football player. He looks like a fucking method actor, like going out there, acting to play quarterback. And he does it well because he's a great actor. Like, he does seem like he's not like a real quarterback. He's an actor going out there and getting paid every week to go perform. It's weird. He's just this weird dude. Like, he put his hands out just like he did in Seattle to get the high fives. Nobody was there. He's like a robot, man. He's like a robot. He's weird. Joe Staley ripped him last night on KMBR. I was dying. Russell Wilson's a weird dude.
he is a weird guy. Like you said it. Like, he's a freak athlete. That dude's a super athlete. Got a gun on him. He can manage the huddle. He's got the cadence, playmaking ability. But I think it's like, I think fame gets him a little weird, right? You're married to Sierra, like that. I think like being in that spotlight and stuff, I think it like gets into his head a little bit. I really do. Like, I think like you said, like he's an actor. Like he's playing a role. Like, he's in this role of the Denver Broncos star. It's like, bro, you're just football.
It's weird, man. Broncos country. Let's ride. It's like,
let's ride. Mr. Unlimited.
Yeah, he sounds like Buzz Lightyear. It's weird, bro. He sounds like Buzz Lightyear talking about to infinity and beyond. It's Mr. Unlimited. He's a weird dude, man. I mean, I got to give him respect. He's played well over his career. He's done good things. He's just a weird, odd character. I don't know. Definitely different in Denver compared to Seattle. And the crazy thing, he's gotten booed twice.
Yeah.
Seattle fans booed him, and Denver Broncos fans booed him.
I don't know how Denver Broncos fans can be mad at him when that coach, Nathaniel Hackett, that dude looks like he looks like he pees down his pants the second the game starts, bro. That dude looks scared.
He's so
like
bad.
That guy's like, oh my God, I guess I shouldn't have called that play.
He's so bad.
But Raj, I gotta run too. I'm gonna let you close out the show. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, no problem, man. appreciate you for hopping on. It's always a good time having you and CMAC and everybody in here.
2-1. We're going 2-1.
All right. Well, we'll talk more this week, man. Appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week, my man.
Go Niners.
Yes, sir. Oh, man. Drew C says it's going to be weird going up against DJ and the Shark. It is, man. It's going to be weird playing against former teams. Kind of a reunion game. You know, it's going to be weird to see some old faces and new faces. We did it last year when we played the Colts. We saw Defoe there. You know, we're going to get some quality jersey swaps, some great stories. You know how that goes. But it's going to be a little sentimental seeing DJ Jones in the orange. You're going to see K'Wan Williams in the orange. I wish them good luck in the rest of their career. But guess what? They're not on the Niners anymore, so I hope we crush them and take them down. I hope we give them a fat loss because I want the Niners to win this week and go to 2-1. But appreciate everybody in the chat that joined in today. Hit that like button. And again, thank you for the support. I truly, truly, truly am blessed for all the support that I've had over the years, man. It's amazing. And you guys are such an amazing community. Again, the chat, man, I can't tell you enough. I love the chat in here. Niners Sickness Podcast. Appreciate you. Yeah, it was cool seeing Bash this weekend. He has a question. He says, do you guys in the panel who has a better looking wife, Kittle or Juice? Oh, man, that's a spicy question. You think Kyle Juszczyk's wife or Claire? They're both dimes, man. They're both good looking. I don't know. They're both good looking ladies, and they're both good. You know, I think they're both lucky guys. They're both lucky guys to have two beautiful wives. So, you know, it is what it is. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. And again, just thanks for having this chat looking great. You guys are doing a good job in the chat. And again, we appreciate all the comments in here. So I love you guys. Have a good one. You take care and have a good rest of your day. I'll tap into you later.